The first you was the best you. The first you was more loving, more creative, more beautiful, less awkward, more talented, more accepting, gentler, more faithful, more whole. The first you was the best you. Then life happens. We abandon our first selves. We get convinced that the next self would be better than the first. But the first you is the best you. The next you is less human, and the next after that even less. With so many trials and tribulations in life, the loss of loved ones, rejection, shame, inadequacies, inabilities, pain, we move further and further away from ourselves until, gosh darn it, you might wake up to find you are lost. How do we hold on to our first selves? How do we keep from losing ourselves? If we do happen to lose ourselves, how do we return? How do we relearn what it means to be us? In this story, his story, we find an answer to these questions. Like a kingfisher slicing through the surface of a river to catch a fish, when I entered his life for the first time, it was like entering a new world. Where there was once air, there was water. Where there was once darkness, there was light. His world was nothing like mine. I saw a glimpse of it and then rose from the surface back to my own life. In that brief moment, what I saw was magnificent. It was a child allowed to be a child, a boy allowed to be a boy. The world did not belong to him, but that was okay, because all he needed to create his own world was in his basement and behind his house in West Becker Woods. Although it has evolved into a beloved children's story, the true origin of the story, Peter Pan, is very dark. The story is a reflection of the author's own struggles to grow up and be a man. He wanted to stay a boy forever, for this is what his mother wished for him. After her losing her son in a tragic ice skating accident, she didn't want to lose her other son. Never grow up, she told him. The reality is, once he lost his brother, he also lost his mother and his father, and his childhood was gone. For the rest of his life, he chased after it. It even dangled before his face, but as he reached out, it disappeared into vapor. How do we hold on to ourselves? Bangarang. There's people with strong imaginations, but not every person has the ability to create ex nihilo, that is, something out of nothing. Not everyone can make breadcrumbs into a meal, an empty table into a feast. That's the power of God, the power to create universes, which is the same power we possess in our own imaginations. As an adult, that same boy running through the woods in his backyard held on to this power and brought it to the stage. He made a career out of it. Over 20 years later, as I looked into his eyes on a computer screen, you could still see it. It was the same boy I saw that day in his basement, the same boy running through West Becker Woods, his first you. We are all looking at the same thing. I repeat, we are all looking at the same thing. How you perceive something depends on your perspective. Too close and you'll see the fine details, the brushstrokes, but you'll miss the bigger picture. Too far away and you'll get the general shape, but miss out on the intricacies. I'm speaking to you way out here in South Korea. I'm out of touch at this point, but there was a moment in time that I stood right in the middle of it with all of you, alone. We are all alone, together. Truly, this is a shared life that we live alone. From time to time, we enter each other's lives, and the next thing we know, we are once again alone. We are known, but no one knows us but us.